Hey guys, here with Jeremy from Brassman Reptiles.
What's up?
We're going to check out some carpet python stuff, maybe some other stuff as we go along.
Oh yeah.
But I'm going to turn it over to him and let him talk. I figured some carpet content would be good.
Boom.
So let's go.
All right, cool. So carpet pythons are certainly like my thing. That's what I've been doing for. I've actually kept them for as long as I've been keeping reptiles, but recently, over the last 3-4 years, I really have like delved into them a bit more. Jungles and Bredli have kind of been my two go-tos, so that's what I've got the most of right now. This is one of my striped jungles. Now, this isn't a pure jungle. It's just about as pure as you can get. It's like 97.3% jungle and 2 point whatever percent coastal. But, I mean, who really gives a crap, right? It's a really nice striped snake.
It's electric.
She just shed. I was like, ooh, let me pull her out and throw her over here so I can grab her easily. But this is my girl Nebula. So usually I actually don't name my snakes super often, but with carpets and I know with like bloods and short tails, people tend to name their stuff and then people want to be like, I want that one's baby in particular.
It's a marketing tool, man, because people think of it and they're like, oh, I want
to zero in. Exactly, yeah. So I started doing that. So pretty much all of my carpets now have names, but for me, it's always been like the contrast of the jungles that's just captivated me. You know, I mean, they can make great pets and also great display animals, which is actually quite wonderful. I keep and breed most of my carpets in racks. It's what's worked for me the best. Over the years, I've had some people like throw some shade because they say cages are better. But when I was originally keeping carpets and trying to breed carpets in cages, it never worked for me. And I don't know why. Every time I would either have girls reabsorb or drop slugs. And I was like, what the heck? Tried 1 year in a rack and every single female I paired went. And I was like, all right, racks it is. So hate me all you want, guys, but it's racks for me. But you have a lot of really great options because these are semi-arboreal species, so there's a lot of different caging options. And the jungles are certainly a bit more of the arboreal side of the semi-arboreal lifestyle, especially at this size. But I've really grown to love what these guys become. Let's see, I've got one of my Ocelot Jag girls right here. So I know that sometimes we get some hate on the Jag stuff, but this is my girl Lightning, and she's just a truly spectacular example of what an Ocelot Jag can really look like.
Yeah, she's nice too.
Yeah, just absolutely glows as she wraps herself into a pretzel.
Your room lighting actually seems pretty reasonable too.
It's that, dude, those lights are spectacular and blinding. But
as
we both stared right into it. But these guys are great, man. You know, and a manageable size jungles. I mean, you're talking maybe a 6-foot snake, but they're not a heavy-bodied snake at all. So very easy to manage. And again, so many different housing options for them. They're absolutely spectacular animals and very tractable. I've got a couple coastal carpets. So the coastals are the largest of the subspecies. They can get close to 10 foot plus. This girl is one of my pure coastal tiger jags. She's about 7.5 foot long now. And she's a monster. I mean, I don't know if the camera will pick up her big beefy head all that well, but the last thing you want to take is a hit from a girl like this. And every once in a while she'll take a pop at me. So I'd like to try to avoid it. But just a spectacular animal. I mean, size wise, this is quite an impressive snake, that's for sure.
Yeah.
She's just a big beefy.
Yeah, definitely I've seen some big coastals, man.
Yeah. And
yeah, she's got like a bulldog head.
Yeah, exactly, dude. This is so my first experience with carpets was a local buddy of mine had a big coastal just like this, and she stretched right out, and that's all I got was that big bulldog head in my face, and I was like, this is the greatest thing ever. I have to have one of these things. Let's see. I've got another one of my coastals right here. Hi, sweetie. This is one of my axanthic coastals. This is a Paul Harris line. She's certainly nowhere near as big, but she's also not as old as that other girl. but she's got some size to her.
Now, is this an animal that would be at like breeding age and size?
So she is pretty much just at that breeding age and size. She's about 3.5 years old, and she's actually full of follicles right now. She's nice and chunky, but she's actually skipped a couple meals. I know, dude, right to the face, right? So she's actually, I'm breeding her with my male axanthic. We're just going to make some nice axanthics this year. That male's also going to my albino girl, so we'll make some double het snows.
Nice.
The carpet morphs have definitely captivated me for a long time. But there's something about a white carpet python that just like geeks me out. I'm like, that's a really cool looking animal. So, and they're so personable, man. They're certainly wonderful just in that aspect alone.
Plus, sometimes it's cool to handle some of the arboreal and semi-arboreal stuff because they'll actually climb around. They move around a little bit on you.
Yeah, exactly.
They're much more comfortable too, you know, compared to like the bloods and shorttails where, you know, they're just like lumps on the ground, and when they're up in the air, it's unnatural.
Yeah, exactly. And they'll let you know. So this is my albino girl.
She is really pretty.
Oh man,
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. That white head. Every time I take her out, that's the thing that I'm drawn to the most.
Oh, that's like fluorescent yellows, man. I'm trying to get it in the thing, but she keeps moving. Probably won't show up that well even with a good light, just because it's so fluorescent. So pretty.
Yeah, she is awesome. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed. I tried last year pairing her up with the axanthic. They locked a few times, but she never went. So I'm hoping this year we can get her to go, and we'll get some double het snow stuff.
Nice.
But I mean, even just getting more albino stuff to look that looks like this.
Yeah, the contrast on it's nice.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen an albino carpet that size. I've seen some of the smaller like Darwin stuff or whatever.
Yep. This is actually, so this is a Darwin jungle integrate, technically. So all the albino stuff really derived from that Darwin, and then people just plugged it into everything to get it into the mutations. So yeah, this was an albino jungle integrate. Hey, sweetie. So it's a mutt. The carpet purists can be mad if they want. Hey, sweetie. Let's see. And then I've really been focusing and geeking out on Centralian carpets or Bredl's pythons or Bredli or Bredli, wherever the hell in the world you are that wants to say it. This is my one of my genetic stripe girls. She's just an absolute puppy dog, and she's about 10 years old. The Bredli tend to have more of a docile demeanor overall. They're pretty well known for being pretty mild mannered. Like I was telling you before, the first time I bred them years ago, the whole clutch of babies I was expecting to get annihilated by, but they were like, yeah, sure, take us out. And I was like, this is a nice change.
Yeah, because baby carpets are not that way.
No.
Baby carpets, you just get teeth for like the first couple months every time you touch them. You just accept that it's going to happen.
Exactly, yeah.
My friend actually brought over a clutch one day. We were going through in section of my house, and I must have got bit, 22 times.
Oh, it's happening. It's happening.
It's not a big deal. They barely break the skin or anything, but it was just like nonstop.
Yeah, you're like, oh, this is great. Yeah. I'm having such a fun time. But yeah, these guys are so freaking chill. So I've got a couple of different morphs. I've got obviously this genetic stripe stuff. I have some Stonewash stuff, which is pretty cool. Also,
I know Nick has some of that stuff. Is that where that originated, or does somebody else originate that stuff?
Yeah, so I don't remember the true origin of it, but I mean, Nick definitely is the guy with everything right now. Yeah. So this is just a little Stonewashed male. He's on the smaller side, but age-wise, he's ready to breed this year. And technically, an interesting fact with the Stonewash stuff is it's actually a kind of pied. You just never see the belly very often because it's a very low expression version of piebaldism.
I did not know that.
It's technically a version of pied, which is quite interesting. So, and they kind of lose a bit of that vibrancy as they age, which is an unfortunate thing. But if you get the hypo Stonewash stuff, they hold that color actually quite well. But you can see where that kind of almost greenish tan color bleeds into the red up by the neck.
Yep.
It's a very interesting look to what's typically just a very red snake.
Yeah, no, I like it. They are definitely on my list of animals that when I have more space, I would like to have.
Yeah, they're so great, man. Again, I mean, personality-wise, they're wonderful, but also to get one of the subspecies that's just like, yeah, I'll chill, no big deal. Like, that's definitely awesome.
Yeah, like I said, I told you, I was talking to you off camera before. It'd be cool to have a nice setup in my living room or something with them, because I like watching.
Oh, yeah. Stuff. Most definitely. All right, there you go, buddy. I have probably one of my favorites to stare at. And these guys came from Nick. When I picked up a Poshet stripe female that had came into Nerd, and we were like, oh, okay, that's cool. I was like, I might have to snag that. I reached out to Nick because I was like, all right, I'm getting some G-stripe stuff. I knew that Nick had a bunch of G-stripe stuff. He's like, are you getting into Bredli? And I was like, I mean, maybe so. And he's like, well, go through my website. I have a lot of them, and we'll work at a deal. Next thing I know, I'm getting 3 in the mail. I'm like, oh, this is terrible. But this is one of them. This is a hypo het genetic stripe.
And Nick's one of the few people that I've actually talked to on the phone, because I hate talking on the phone. But he's a phone guy. So,
he definitely is a phone guy. Yeah.
I'm not going to tell him how to handle his business because he's Nick. So I called him on the phone.
Yep. Yep. And you got to be prepared for that hour-long conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's going to happen.
But you know what? You'll learn more in that hour than you thought you could have in an hour.
Oh, it's so true.
Very smart person.
Yeah, for sure. And what was it really interesting talking with him about the hypo gene in the Bredli is it kind of acts dominant / incomplete dominant. It's really interesting because there's I think the way he explained it to me, there's 4 switches that have to go off for it to be a full-blooded hypo animal. And you can get varying degrees of those switches being turned on or off. So sometimes you might get one. Like this is actually a pretty decent expression of hypo, but technically it's only 50% hypo blood. But this is certainly a hypo animal. If you had 100% hypo blood animal, it would be even more red, a lot brighter overall. And I mean, Bredli really grow into their colors around that 3.5 foot mark. So around that size of that Stonewash is when you'd really see the true colors pop. But I mean, even just at this 50% hypo blood, you can really see a lot of these reds, just almost no black flecking. There's it looks almost like paradox spots kind of coming through with the black. So there's a lot to be kind of discovered, I think, with the hypo gene in the Centralian.
A lot more work to do.
Exactly, yeah, just to understand it a little bit more, because from what I gathered from the conversation with Nick, there's it's just really interesting how the gene plays.
I guess in case people don't know, we're talking about Nick Mutton. We should mention
that's true. We should specify
inland reptile. There are more than one Nick in the reptile community, but with these, that's the Nick.
Exactly, yeah. So this is a 50% hypo blood genetic stripe. Oh, really? We're just talking about how nice you guys are supposed to be.
Yeah.
Not very thrilled.
Not today.
So this is a little male right here, and I love the sides on this guy. They just melt.
Yep. I'm gonna say it's very trippy.
Yeah. Maybe I should smoke and then stare at this snake.
Sorry, Rob.
Yeah. I'll look at my berms too, Rob. It'll be okay. Oh, man. But this guy, I stare at this guy quite often. Just those sides really captivate me. I am kind of a stripe geek.
Yep.
So any snake that has stripes really captures my attention. And this animal's no different. So I think the only downside when it comes to Bredli when you want to breed them is they do take an extra year or so to kind of hit that perfect maturity point. So a lot of carpets, you can breed them around 3 years old. The Centralians, if you get them to 4 or 5, then you're really cooking with them. So that kind of sucks. It's definitely an extra commitment, but that's also why you don't see a bunch of people mass producing them compared to the coastals and the jungles and stuff.
Too many people get in and out, and it's too long.
Exactly. So yeah, it's kind of an overview of my carpet stuff. I've got a few other things that I'm raising up. This is an axanthic zebra.
What the hell is this?
Yeah, exactly. Can I climb that, please?
I know. You can't get. You want to get close for a nice shot, but you get too close to anything arboreal, they're like, hey.
Yeah, and she's weird. She like hardly ever flicks her tongue, and I don't understand that. But
well, now the zebra, there is some stuff that goes on with them. Anything to, I mean, not necessarily that, but isn't there something with zebra? Not like the jag, or is it the same?
It's not like the jag at all. I don't really buy into it all that much. I mean, I've got quite a few zebras here and have had quite a few over the years, and I haven't really had any issues with them. I don't know if it maybe lies more in the supers. I've never produced any supers or owned any supers, so. But yeah, I don't totally buy into it. It's certainly nothing like the jag, where that's undeniable. Yeah. It's happening. See it
hanging upside down.
Yeah, exactly.
Falling off of a perch.
Yeah, exactly. But
yeah,
no,
I don't think I've seen a tongue flick at all.
That's
crazy.
But if you put food in front of her,
all of a sudden it goes.
It's right out there, and I'm like, I don't understand, but she's
I have
wonderful.
a Sumatran I produced this year. Mm-hmm. Her tongue flicks straight down, so like.
Oh, interesting.
Loops.
Yep.
And I noticed it a couple times filming a video. I'm like, holy shit, that thing's going straight down.
This little guy is probably one of my absolute favorites. Looking. Yeah, so this is a non-jag ocelot. So this was produced by Mike Curtin.
Oh, I know Mike.
Yeah, Mike is absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
But take a look at those sides, man. Just totally tripped out sides.
That's where that picture of me from Carpet Fest when we were there with the crayfish on my shoulder, that was Mike who put that on there for me.
Oh, Mike's a good dude.
Yes.
I can remember going to White Plains years ago, and like when he was really first digging into the ocelot jags, and they were way more expensive than they are now. He used to be like
Scattershot or something.
Yep.
I'm trying to remember everything.
He would call me over to his table. He's like, "Hey, come, Jeremy, come look at this. Come look at this." And it would be this insane ocelot jag, and I'd be like, "Oh my god, it's so amazing!" And he'd be like, "Yeah, it's only $4,000 or whatever." And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, I've got right here, I got you, whatever." And ironically, now all except for 2 of my ocelot things have come from him. They're a bit more affordable now, so I'm like, all right, it's time to pull the trigger. Yeah, this little boy is he's spectacular. I'm really excited to grow him up because his colors, even at this size, are already spectacular. And for jungles, that's a feat in and of itself.
Yeah. Usually it takes a few years before you get something like this. That's smoking right now.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm pretty stoked.
That's also why sometimes we all go through it with certain species where it can be hard to market stuff because people look at the baby and they don't have the vision to see where it's going to end up.
Exactly. Yeah, that was like when I was doing Irian Jaya jags. Like they hatch out and they don't look like crap.
Yeah.
And then
look like a turd for the first.
Yeah, exactly. And then people are like, "Well, why is that so much more than this other jag that only cost me $60?" And it's like, well, this is what it's going to look like as an adult. And they're like, "All right, there's no way that's going to happen." And then 3 months later, it starts to look a little more yellow. The same person comes back, "Oh, that's a really nice snake." It's like, yeah, it's the same one you laughed at 3 months ago.
I've had a few people with the Sumatran short tails where they inquire and I tell them the price and they're like, "Oh, I'd get this one cheaper." I'm like, okay. Yeah. And then months later, they'll see me post a picture of like one of the sub-adults or adults like, "Oh my god, it's so dark." I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. Guess what? Yeah.
And guess what? The one you bought's not going to look like that. Yep. So enjoy it.
Exactly.
It's going to look like a bruised turd for the rest of its life. But yeah, it's like this stuff costs money, man. There's a lot of work behind a lot of these lines of stuff. And you were talking about the price on like Mike's animals. But the nice thing about that is not only do you get a great quality animal, but you're investing in a decent person.
For sure.
Saw a little tail come out of the bin over there. Yeah. What is that?
She's like, "This bin's too big for me." I've got to put her in another bin.
Get me out.
Oh, man. Let's see. What else? I've got a bunch of stuff. I think I've got probably like 16 or 17 different species in the room right now between different colubrids and ball pythons, carpets, retics, sperms, bloods and short tails. I guess I can show some bloods and short tails.
Yeah, I do have a lot of those people here that like them. I'm meh,
Let's see.
I could take or leave them.
Oh, this girl's all going into a shed and sitting in a dry water bowl. Today was the day to come in and clean and give things water, and she sat in her water bowl and exhausted all the water resources. So she looks a little dry. Here, we'll fix that. Ready? The magic of TV. It's so much better.
I see a lot of people that use water in their pictures of them to try to make them pop more.
Yeah.
Because they do it instantly, as you just saw.
Yep.
You know, her color looks totally different. But people do that, especially with the Sumatrans, because they look so much blacker when they're wet.
Yep.
People do it a lot, and I'm like, oh, these people are getting duped.
Yeah. It's so true.
Yeah.
It's so true. And she's that one snake that, like, you fill up the water bowl, she'll sit right in it, and then all the water's gone. Yeah, and it's like, cool, thank you. And it's without fail all the time. But this is a little Batrix Posset T-Paws.
Yeah, it's good. Somebody on that live stream earlier wanted to see a Batrix, so hopefully they'll watch this video.
Bam! Yeah, this one's pretty nice.
She is.
Hey, sweetie.
Yeah, at some point I may produce some Batrix stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and I have some really high red stuff that I'm hoping will make that pop.
Yeah.
Because Batrix is something where there's not a lot of super red ones yet.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
haven't dove into the line breeding there yet. I'm sure Bottini's got some stuff in the works that he's hiding.
The secret.
Dude,
the
he has
secret man.
Everything he posts is like absolutely electric.
Yeah. And you're like, you have that? Where have you been hiding that? He's like, oh, I've had this forever. And you're like,
Yeah, there's probably like a big pit behind his house. Anything that doesn't look fucking amazing, he's just like, chuck this in the pit.
Let's see, it's Golden Eye.
But I like the cards and that you have like who produced these animals and all that stuff. That's pretty cool and nice to have.
To me, it's always just mattered, you know. Like I mean, certainly with certain species, people care about lineage a lot more. But I like to know, like, over the years, who I've made those connections with, and like who's given me some, of course, good deals. It's always nice, but you know, just some spectacular animals. And this boy came from Nick. Okay. Not Nick Mutton, but the other Nick.
This is the other Nick, Teeny.
And this is, I mean, just a spectacular Golden Eye.
Yeah.
The Golden Eye and Magpie stuff years ago is what really captured my attention on Blood Pythons. And when I saw this boy, I basically hit Nick right up and was like,
I mean, it's
let's go.
artwork. It's got all the meltiness and reds and yellows and whites and black.
Yeah.
And there's just so much going on. One of those animals you can stare at for a week and you'll still find new little nuances and things going on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I need to get some I want T positive, of course, because everything pretty much in my collection is T positive. But I have my 007, but I'd like to get just a Golden Eye because I enjoy
look,
seeing a little bit more of the pattern and the more of the red color in there.
Yep.
He's got the lineage, but he just doesn't show it because of the matrix and how that affects the look.
Hey, buddy. It's also just, it's nice to have fairly tolerant bloods.
Yeah.
It makes a world of difference.
They are a species when they are not tolerant, they are not fun.
Yeah. My very first blood python experience was with a big imported animal, and the seller warned me when I got it, like, hey, he's not friendly, whatever, and I was like, I'm into it, man. I'm down for the challenge. I was not down for that challenge. That snake annihilated me any chance it could. And the final parting gift before I ended up selling that animal, because I was like, this thing's just psychotic and I can't deal with it, was it railed my mom in the face at a reptile show.
And your poor mother has been so supportive.
Yeah, she's like, this is great. And she wouldn't let me get bloods after that, like, at all. So when I got that Golden Eye, that was actually the first blood I got when I was like, I think I'm going to take this plunge. Immediately posted a picture, and my mom was like, the fuck is that? I was like, it's a blood, don't worry about it.
PTSD.
Yeah, exactly. She's like, if that thing bites me in the face, I swear to God. It's like, don't worry, it'll be fine. But yeah, I mean, dude, I love them. How can you not love them?
I know.
They're just spectacular.
Variety, their personalities, their size, like everything is just perfect.
It's perfect. Oh man, let's see. All right, what else? Look at some colubrids. How we saw these on the live we just did at Nerd.
What are these, young palmettos or something?
Yeah, this is one of my younger palmettos.
The corn snake.
They're corns.
Getting close so people can actually see the pattern when you're like a little bit further away.
It almost looks pure white, yeah. These things are... And it's just a unique mutation, you know? I mean, who would have thought that you could have any kind of snake, regardless of species, look like this? That's silly.
I like the little gray on the head.
Yeah, a little splotch of like,
Yeah.
I don't know where this came from.
Yeah, let's just throw this in here.
Yeah. My favorite project right now, of course, I love the palmettos, but is the coral ghost stuff. So I know this guy just ate, so I don't want to mess with him too much. But basically, and this is not going to get picked up well on the camera. The pink never does.
So is that animal in shed, or that's just how they look?
No, that's just how it looks.
That's not picking up the pink at all. That's annoying.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, dude, this is why I don't post it, because I can never get the pinks to show up.
So for people that are looking, I mean, this thing literally has like fluorescent pink on the neck and then almost like a insulation color pink on the rest of its body.
Yeah, it's crazy. So all this is a hypoanthristic, so a ghost, and then the coral is essentially line breeding these higher amounts of iridophore or pink pigment to come through, and then after that you're just line breeding pinkest animal, the pinkest animal, the pinkest animal, every so often outcrossing it to keep the gene pool fresh. But you just start to get these ridiculously pink snakes.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And it doesn't make any sense. And it also translates really well into the snow corns. So you see salmon snow or coral snow, which was basically the same thing, except instead of hypo and anery, you get albino and anery with the same high pink coloration. And man, they just get better and better and better with every shed.
So ugly on the camera, that's annoying.
Dude, I'm telling you,
that's the biggest difference I've ever seen in a snake from what I'm seeing on the screen
to the actual snake in person. Yeah, that's why I've tried pictures on every single camera I can get, and nothing picks it up right. If I want to get a nice photo, I have to heavily edit the saturation to get it anywhere close to what it actually looks like, and it's like, what? But it's a naturally occurring thing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Let's see. This is another colubrid species that's kind of captured my attention pretty heavily. This is a San Luis Potosi king snake, or a Mex king snake. And I actually just started working with this species earlier this year. I picked up this girl and just fell in love with them. Just the way they act. They're not a voracious little California king snake that wants to eat everything in sight, including you. Yeah, exactly. They've got this cute little shovel head, and the gray and red pattern just really works really well. And the great thing is they're not super picky. They're not like young gray-banded kings that like really want to eat lizards or whatever. These guys will eat basically whatever you put in front of them. And they don't get huge either. Like females will max around 30 inches. So they're not a massive animal, but super, super inquisitive and very chill little king snakes. So I ended up getting a decent group of them to raise up, and they're wonderful. Bam. I like too much. Rob can tell you it's a problem for me.
It's a problem for all of us. We need unlimited space, money, and time.
Yeah. I never get to leave the reptile room, whether it's
work or
whether
home.
it's work or home.
You just go from one reptile room to the other.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. I'll show off one more snake, just because personally I'd be remiss if I didn't show at least one ball python. So I gotta do it. But I'll make it interesting.
That's when narrate comes in, but it was not interesting.
It was.
That is nice.
All right.
I think I saw this last time I was here.
No, this is new.
Oh, this
is totally new. Yeah. So this is.
Which is also not picking up great.
Oh.
Yeah, it still looks good.
Damn. Okay, cool. So this is a banana enchi fire gene carrying Woma. So this is actually a lesser common strain of Woma. Does some very different stuff. And I'm not going to give away all of the secrets of the gene, but I mean, this thing is tangerine orange.
Yeah, and it's got some age, so it's not like a lot of them by this age are blah looking, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So this is just a cool little
angle where it'll show that how orange that is.
Yeah, it's hard. It's another one of those colors that cameras.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get lucky, but it's just another hard one to pick up. But so there's some big plans for this little guy in the future. So ball pythons.
Yeah. It is pretty.
Bam.
All right. Well, we will. I'll link up some of your social media stuff on there. I don't think you're posting a whole lot on YouTube these days, are you?
I haven't been. It's just been hard to find the time.
I understand.
Honestly, between 80 hours a week at Nerd and here, it's been kind of nuts. But
you do a lot of lives on the Instagram, so I'll link the Instagram for anybody that doesn't follow you.
Perfect.
And then you can watch me harass Jeremy on his lives, as I do pretty much every time I go on there.
It's true, but it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun, you know.
He told me to go fuck myself earlier this week because I told him that I hope Nerd had 2,000 ball python clutches this year.
I don't want that at all.
No.
If that happens, we'll do a YouTube video from Nerd when it's just like me doing the Home Alone.
Yeah.
And it's just 2,000 ball python clutches.
Yeah. And I'll be in the background giving the thumbs up.
Yeah, exactly. The subtext of the description is "fuck Dan."
Yeah. All right. Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
We'll see you guys later.